Hey everybody, welcome back to Chamberlain Family Farms. Today we're going to be doing a rabbit water system. One, you're going to need a 5-gallon bucket with a lid. You're going to need some connectors for the bucket. You also need some of these connectors. Now they got 3 ways and 2 ways. And then you're going to need you some sort of a rabbit water nipple. So doing it this way, it is really handy. It takes care of your whole setup, which if you got more than one big hutch like this, you're gonna need another bucket. You are going to need to still check daily because sometimes things come unplugged. An animal or a storm could blow the bucket off. You guys do any kind of farming whatsoever, you understand what I'm talking about. Stuff happens. But hopefully we won't have to change this water, but maybe once or twice a week. All right, so first step is we need to figure out exactly where we want the bucket. You can also buy some zip ties if you're worried about leaks, because leaks do happen. You can get you a zip tie right around the end where it connects and just pull it tight, and that typically holds it. Now sometimes these nipples will get stuck, or they're not producing enough, or it needs cleaned out or something. You can take it back off, and there's like a set screw. You can loosen it and tighten it, and if it's constantly dripping, you can tighten it up usually, and it'll take care of the problem as well. And they will go bad over time. I mean, it's like anything else, it'll wear out. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to hook this up where you decide to start. You'll hook that in there. We'll cut it somewhere in here. We'll put a 3-way, and we'll just keep on going until we get where we need to go. So you're going to want the 5-gallon bucket where it's easy accessible. If not, it's going to be hard for you. Now this is gravity fed. It's going to be higher than where the nipple's going to be, okay? So it's just going to naturally feed down into it. So the bucket has to be higher. You can't set it on the ground. It can't be the same level. It has to be higher where the rabbits are actually getting a drink. We're going to put a 3-way. You stick it right in there. And that's got a barb fitting. So that should cover it, but like I said, if it starts leaking, you may have to come back later and put a zip tie and tighten it. Now I can't remember right offhand how much all this stuff cost. This whole row of tubing and nipples and stuff like that. But I don't think it was that much. And like I said, rabbit water bottles are expensive as heck anyway, so you're really not going to spend as much as if you was doing it this way. Now granted, we live in a cold climate. It will get down to freezing, and when that happens, we will not be using this setup. We will have to go to the actual rabbit water bottles and kind of rotate them out, have another set in the house falling out while they're drinking one, and then we just flip-flop them. Another piece of hose. And I'd leave a little bit of slack, a little bit of play in case you need to move things around, but you don't want to leave too much. And you also, guys, make sure that this tube is not right against the cage like this, because you know what's going to happen, right? Them rabbits like to chew on stuff. They're going to chew a hole in your line. It's going to completely drain your bucket, and your rabbits ain't going to have water until you notice. So, all right. So as you can see, we got a continual end. Here we're going to cut this off short, and we're going to put a nipple on this where it'll hook into the cage. And you can see there, well, maybe you can, but anyway, it's got an Allen bit here to tighten the tension of this. So this too has got a barb fitting on the outside, just like the 3-way. You're gonna push that in there real good. And then what you're gonna do, this here is actually supposed to have a spring on it. So I'm gonna have to find another spring. But this end here will actually latch onto the side like this, and that spring, so you'll put the spring on, you'll stretch it over, and it'll hold it in place like that. So I will have to come back later and do that. And make sure you have it low enough to where they can reach the water, but make sure you have it high enough to where if they're just laying and stretching out in here, their body's not going to be touching it as they're laying down, letting that water go on them. Another thing to keep in mind too with these water systems, the reason you need the lid, especially here where we got the trees, you don't want stuff going inside there and getting stuck in your line and in your nipple. So another 3-way. Put the extension on her. Actually, I'm gonna think we're gonna stick this on this side. Like I said, you really don't even need this much if you got it fairly close, but we want it to where it's going to kind of push away from the cage. So if you got just a few inches, that's all you need for where you're actually going to put the nipple. All right, and once you get to the very end, you don't want a 3-way, you just want a nipple. We're just going to stick just a regular nipple on that end, and then we'll be about done. Around this side, ain't we? When you buy these new, they will come with the springs. If you buy this type, there are other types you can get. You can get the kind that's got the little bowl and all that. You can kind of see how it is. So you put the water in, it just travels down. It comes here. The rabbit wants a drink. They kind of hit that with their tongue. Water comes out. You shouldn't have to fill this up, but maybe once or twice a week. It's 5-gallon bucket for 5 rabbits, so pretty easy. We're going to hit the nipple until the water runs out. All right, so they're all working. Hey, right there's a spring here. So you can see it's got like a little hole right here. We're just going to take that spring and hook it in. Now sometimes if you got too much tension, sometimes it'll actually make it leak, but I think we're good. But like I said, we can always get a zip tie. All right, so we got 2 does and 2 bucks up here at Mom and Dad's. We're gonna take down to our house. There could be some breeding and there could be some fighting, so we're gonna try to get these guys down to our house as quick as we can. And we'll have to keep an eye as we go and see if any of them happen to get pregnant, because if so, we need to mark it down so we know when they're gonna have their babies. And Harlequin's pregnant. Believe it or not, the 2 bucks didn't fight at all, at least not yet. So we're gonna try to get one of them out first.
Minnie?
Get old Smokey out.
Minnie?
Go lay down. And we chose these rabbits for one by health. Well, this one here that's kind of mom's pet, so we decided to go ahead and keep her. She's really tame. This is the rabbit you've been seeing in that
In the petting
petting
zoo.
zoo, yeah. So that's why we kept her. Harlequin, she is a purebred. She is registered. Granted, we don't have any registered male Harlequins, but you know, we may in the future. And we kept 2 bucks. This is Don Juan. He's our California. He's really docile, and he's a pretty good breeder. Most of our rabbits don't have his genetics. We've pretty much sold all his babies, so he's not really related to any of these. Neither is Harlequin. But this one and this one, these are both Buckies, or Flemish Giant New Zealand Cross. These 2 are half brother and half sister. So we will keep him. We'd like to keep some rabbits on hand for people to buy, because we do have one occasionally just wants one for a pet, or for they want to do meat rabbits. So we do keep some in stock, usually at least a few. Plus, it's going to give us some meat later on in the winter time. We'll be able to process more in the winter time for us and anybody that wants to buy some. Again, we sell them for about $6 a pound, the meat. Plus, we also sell the hide. So we'll get a few of them pregnant, not all of them, but a few of them. And we'll have plenty for next year to start up. And if things increase like they have been, I expect next spring, we will be selling a lot of rabbit and rabbit meat. Thank you for watching Chamberlain Family Farms. You can contact us at chamberlainff@gmail.com. You can also see us on Facebook, Chamberlain Family Farms. We hope you enjoy. Please like and subscribe.